Hey folks, and welcome back. And I'm really delighted to welcome to the studio for the very first time, Mr. Joss Allen.
Hey!
How you doing, dude?
I'm all right, thank you, mate.
It's really, really good to have you here.
And, no, it's great to be here.
Thanks for coming in today.
I know, I'm literally only down the road, aren't I? So it's all good.
Who knew it? We went all the way to Germany.
Yeah.
At GitCon, didn't have a chance really to catch up and do a video there, and we live literally next door to each other.
Yeah, I mean, you were there as a YouTuber, right? And everyone else was there as YouTubers. I was there as a hired gun for Hughes and Kettner, so they never let me go away. They never let me do anything evil. No, they're great. No.
Well, now you're doing the Guitar Brothers.
Yes.
Next time, why don't you go as a YouTuber?
Well, hopefully, hopefully. I can kind of cross-pollinate. So.
You can indeed, you can. Now, you've got a couple of firsts to do here with me today.
I have, yeah.
The first thing is that I've got a new signing board. So it's plugged in, so you'll have to unplug it. But if you want to grab that, I'd love you to sign in, if you will.
So I start smashing
stuff. That's all right, you smash away, mate. Just pull the power out of that one. There's a pen up there. So I'd like you to sign in. That's wicked. Cool. It's called Guitar Brother, I should say. Yeah. So the other thing is that anyone that visits, I'm going to invite to play one of two amps. Okay. So you've got a choice today. They're both up and running. I'm currently plugged into this one, but it's cool. You can either choose the Marshall Lead 12 or you can choose the Vox Valvetronic. Okay. Both of them are solid state, cheap amps.
So the only reason I'm going to go for the Lead 12 is because beforehand you told me that that's what Billy Gibbons used at one point. So that's the only reason why I'm going to go for the Lead 12, because I love Billy Gibbons. So.
Nice. Well, let's get plugged in and set up, and let's see what comes out, what magic comes out. So yeah, NAMM, gee man, you got your face on a stand, on the Vola stand.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was weird. Yeah, it was really weird, because the thing is like, I think the one thing about Instagram and YouTube and all that sort of things, your followers, for some strange reason, if you post a new piece of gear or equipment, they automatically think that you are endorsed by them or something. I don't know why. Every other email I get is like, oh, you're playing a Fender Tele, are you endorsed by Fender? I'm like, no, I just really like Fender Telecasters. Yeah.
A lot of people don't realise actually that we, as YouTubers, we do buy a lot of gear ourselves.
Exactly.
You know, we don't get it all sent to us. Obviously, we get some sent to us for demos, but generally, that'll either go back.
90% of the time for me, the stuff goes back to the company. So.
And also, it needs to anyway. I have to send stuff back. I haven't got the space.
Yeah, exactly.
To keep it all.
Yeah, exactly.
So absolutely crazy. That is a beautiful telly.
It's a cool finish, isn't it? This is
really cool finish. I particularly like the finish on the pickguard.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. It's that new.
Still got the plastic on, man.
Yeah, I don't even know. I was so excited about playing it that I just got it out of the case and was like, play! And I completely forgot that it had the plastic on it, so I'm definitely going to take that off.
It's beautiful though, man. That's a lovely sparkle pink finish. And you are renowned for your pink, aren't you? You're a lover of pink.
Yeah, I mean, it's the... do you know what it is? It's the Elvis thing. It's the Cadillac.
Right,
and ever since I saw those old Fender finishes, those old Cadillac finishes, I've just become besotted with those colours.
Right.
And it's the same as just having a little bit of flake in it.
Flake is just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know if the camera picks that up nicely, but
it's a penny. This is called the penny finish, and it's like a copper, slight pinky sort of mottled pink sparkle finish to it.
Now that you say it, I can see that it looks a little more sort of coppery, but it's still got that pink.
It's got that tinge to it. Yeah, it's got a pink tinge to it. So that's why I really dig it. But I'm actually. But anyway, the Vola stand thing.
Yeah.
It was basically I had a pass lined up for me and my friend.
Yeah.
And it fell through, so I had to and it was only a couple of weeks until the show. Flights were booked, hotel was booked, everything was booked, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, what am I going to do?
Was that Tom? You took Tom with you?
No, I didn't take Tom. Tom, because unfortunately Tom, being the marketing manager of Guitar and Keyboard Centre, GAC,
right.
He was supposed to go with GAC, but for some reason, I don't know why they couldn't go in the end.
Right.
So I took a close friend of mine, his name's Lewis. So I took Lewis with me just to, he's younger than me, and he wanted to, he's a monster shredder sort of thing, and he wanted to just, it was one of those things where it was one of those things where I took him there and he just saw all his favourite guitar players. Oh, so it was like a really mental thing, do you know what I mean?
Oh.
So we took Lewis along instead, and Greg from Vola had just sent a couple of guitars to us. We've got a Luna and a Blaze X.
Right.
Very rare occasion, once again, where you don't have to send them back. So it's kind of like on a long-term loan. So we'll play them. And I love the Blaze X. It's such a killer guitar. And he sent us these two guitars for the channel. We're going to use them all the time. And I said, look, Greg, have you got any passes going whatsoever, sort of situation for NAMM? And he said, yeah, but as long as you play live on the booth. And I was like, deal.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah. So I got a couple of passes, and I got to play live on the booth. Using a new Blaze X model and stuff, and just played a few original tracks, and yeah, it was really fun.
I know exactly the guitar model that you're talking about now because I saw that video.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. Guys, I mean, what a player. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
No, absolutely incredible. It's really cool. You've started the Guitar Brothers channel as well, and that's going really well. But you've only been going like a year, and you've got like 1 million views and coming on for 20,000 subscribers by the time that, you know, this hits the...
Yeah, I mean, I really have to put it down to the Andertons channel.
Right.
Yeah. I'm very transparent about the fact that being a demonstrator on the Andertons channel has really helped me in what I'm doing YouTube and Instagram wise.
For sure.
I mean, when you play a couple of videos on a channel that's got, you know, 500,000 subscribers, then you know,
that gets your name out there, doesn't
exactly.
it? I think also, you know, I was absolutely shocked to be invited to GitCon with only like at the time I think I had 24,000 subscribers or something like that. But then the exposure of that has knocked on another 5,000 in the last 3 months, which is great because I love doing it.
Yeah.
But you're right, absolutely, that exposure, and also being associated with Pete, with Rob, and well, Lee himself, of course, the captain, who I've never met. Yeah. Funny enough, I bought probably 5 or 6 guitars from Andertons. And I've been in there multitude of times, never ever met Lee.
That's the one thing that people need to understand, is that Lee is working at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
So he's not there. The one sort of conspiracy theory is that at the point where I was there, we're all just walking around the shop. It's like we're never hardly in the shop, you know? The videos that you see when we're in the shop, that's because we're going there to grab the guitars, or you need to do the filming sections and stuff.
Don't forget though that I'm actually going back 10 years now.
Oh right, yeah.
So he was on the shop floor.
So he would have been on the shop floor.
He was absolutely on the shop floor, but I never actually got to meet him.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely sure he's no longer in the shop at all. Yeah. He's got people to do that for him. Minions.
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm very transparent about the fact that the Andertons thing helped out a lot.
It was a great gig, man. Really good.
Awesome.
But then you earned your pennies, because your stuff on their channel was absolutely brilliant, and everything you've done.
I tried my best. Yeah, it was one of those things where it was like it was a scary thing, because you kind of get thrown into. I was doing all the wrong things when I joined as a player, but didn't notice it.
Right.
And I learned an unbelievable amount about my playing from Pete.
Right.
He's very, very military about it. It was very like, no. But if I had someone going, no, don't do that, I wouldn't have learned.
Listened.
Yeah,
no,
I wouldn't have listened, because that's not the way that I would have learned. And I still make the same mistakes, like all of us and stuff. But I was doing things like playing in E minor, and I'd go and then do something in the first position pentatonic in A as well for some reason,
Yeah,
just because I wanted to get around the fretboard really quickly, and I was making the mistake of not thinking about like, oh, what key am I playing in? Is it major or minor and all that sort of stuff. Whereas because the whole premise of the Andertons thing is to jam with each other at the beginning, I learned aggressively and very quickly about what I was doing wrong, and I just stay in key, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like learn the 5 shapes of the pentatonic properly if you're going to use them. Do you know what I mean? And all that sort of stuff.
Who else does that?
And learning how to the easy way of doing it, not playing like the major scales, but like playing the relative major and minor stuff, and playing in a major key. I learned how to play in major keys confidently with Pete and all that sort of stuff. And I learned more in the year and a bit I was at Andertons than I've ever learned from a guitar teacher, thanks to Pete. So he really helped out.
Have you been to guitar teachers?
Toward like at the beginning, of it, it was. I mean, I went to BIM, which was the Brighton Institute of Modern Music, and I didn't learn anything.
Really, because that's why I would have craft and everything. Because obviously there, you're 24/7 almost, aren't you?
Exactly.
You're living it.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of actual learning, I didn't learn anything. People skills and being with friends and jamming in bands, I learned a lot. It was because I was so hungry for the guitar towards the beginning that I was learning everything anyway before I went to the college. So I was like, oh, I want to play guitar. And by the time I got to BIM, like the entry level course, I can't even remember what it was, everything they were teaching me I already knew. So it was like, I'm paying a lot of money for knowing all of this anyway. So
get your application in now for BIM.
Yeah.
Promo for them.
I mean, I got a first. So if you just learn everything before you go, and then you can get a really good qualification at the end of it.
Oh man, though, but you're living and breathing it now, and that's the main thing. And going back to Anderton's thing, if your best or you're doing your best is not good enough, then whose is? To be fair.
Yeah, I mean,
amazing to sit and actually listen to you play. I remember seeing you doing the Steve from Boston thing at GitCon, and of course he was doing it all with headphones and the modelling, and you couldn't actually hear what you were playing, but I was watching your fingers and I was going, man, that's gotta hurt. I mean, seriously. You're just flying around that fretboard, and it's an absolute joy to watch.
Oh,
really
good.
Is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thoroughly enjoy your playing. So every time I see a video of you, Joss, obviously everybody's so impressed with your incredible speed, technique, particularly your right-hand technique, because you pick pretty much everything. I'm not going to ask you about your technique, because I think there's millions of videos out there.
Literally, every interview video is about that.
Well, that's why I particularly wanted to avoid it, because I think that my viewers and people out there are going to get far more out of this if I ask you about you. Let's ask you about Joss. And also, nobody's ever asked you about your guitars. What was your first guitar, and what's been the evolution of guitars that you've gone through from... Because you've been playing 11, 12 years?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, about 12 years now. About 12 years,
So you must have had a few guitars in that time. What are your favourites? I know your influences. You love the Seattle grunge sort of scene, and that was thanks very much to your dad, really.
My dad,
Pearl Jam. And,
I brought up on a pedigree of 90s Seattle music, so Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Temple of the Dog, sometimes Nirvana, not so much. The Mudhoney, Dinosaur Jr. It's like
the list goes on.
It's,
but has your sort of collection of guitars reflected that? Have you had those? What was your first guitar?
So my first guitar was like a classical acoustic thing. Just like when I was taking guitar lessons down at this guitar shop that's no longer there in Brighton, unfortunately. It was very close to me in a street called St James's Street.
Which one was that then?
I can't even remember what it's called.
Because I was telling you off camera beforehand, I used to go to Southern Music and Tiger Music in Brighton, and you work at GAC. But there've been so many guitar shops in there that have closed, and it seems to be now just GAC and Badlands guitars in Brighton that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if you can't keep up with, like, I mean, GAC is such a monster of Brighton now. It's huge, and you can get literally anything. So if you can't, unless it's like a hobby shop, I don't think you can compete, really.
No, and also the prices are incredible. I mean, I'm not here to plug GAC. I don't plug anybody, but the prices are. You know, you look at GAC and Andertons and Gear for Music online. They're all knocking them out the ballpark, aren't they? With you know, I bought this at GAC. Online, believe it or not. Completely went against my own advice to everybody that I ever say,
to
get
go
your hands on a guitar. Don't buy online. But I knew you could trust the PRS stuff. So after your classical or your acoustic guitar, what was your first electric?
So my first electric was, I'm thinking, like, back now. My first electric guitar, I believe, my dad will correct me after seeing it, because he remembers all my guitars, I think. My first one was this Marshall guitar pack. Right. So it had a Marshall MG10 HFX in there, and a Marshall branded Strat copy.
Wow.
And then like a DVD and all that sort of
Marshall guitar.
Picks. Yeah.
That's unheard of, man.
Yeah.
Unheard of. What was it like?
I mean, I was only a kid, so no, I mean, it done its job, I think. Yeah. So there was a quick turnover between that and then me showing that I was becoming capable of learning the instrument to my parents.
Right.
So it was like, my mum and dad were very the people that were like, I think it's time we moved you on, because if they didn't, then it would have been one of those things where I would have found out eventually that I needed to move on, but I think it wouldn't have progressed as it did.
So they were really good because they drove you. So is your dad a guitar player?
My dad's not, no. My dad's just a music lover.
Right, loves music.
So I think he tipbles in like the harmonica and stuff like that, and he tried to learn the guitar at one point, but he blamed his little finger. I can't remember what he said. He was very. My dad's always been towards the beginning, not so much now, because it's like one of those things. Like if you make a decision, then the decision's yours because you're an adult, sort of thing. I'm 28. Whereas back then it was like it was a lot of help in terms of like. I even got one of those which at that time I was buying and selling, and I had so much cool stuff, and now it's all gone because I'm an idiot, sort of thing. But he got me a Gibson Les Paul limited edition Santa Fe standard on finance just because I wanted it, and because they were in that position to be able to do something like that for me. So I'm always, I mean, they're my parents, do you know what I mean? So I'm always going to be like, you know, thank you, sort of thing.
Oh, absolutely.
But stuff like that other parents may not see the potential in their children, whereas my dad was always fueling the situation. Can we go to the guitar shop? Yeah, let's go, sort of thing.
That's amazing. You know, we all talk about our influences in terms of other guitar players, bands and stuff like that. And you're in a really fortunate position. I was in a similar position with my folks who were always really supportive, and we should never underestimate that our biggest influence is often our parents and the people around us supporting us. And most guitar players, you find, have either got parents that have been supportive or they've got a partner that's really supportive. So it's good to mention that.
Yeah,
stuff,
I think so.
That's really nice.
I think so,
really
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
So buying you a brand new Les Paul standard, I mean, gee whiz.
Yeah, I mean, that was like a pinnacle sort of thing. That was like, and like anyone, I'd see someone else playing something that I wanted to play, and then I'd sell that, and then now in the situation I'm in, I feel crap about it, and it's like, oh. But yeah, so I mean, my first ever proper guitar that I still have, but is completely buggered, is a Gibson Les Paul Studio. Right. I think at that point when I got it, it was like 600 quid.
Yeah. To think that actually the evolution from a Marshall Strat to a Les Paul must have been like chalk and cheese, especially with something that's been relatively reasonably priced. Yeah. Similar to a lot of the Chinese guitars that I show guys. To something that is pretty top end. I mean, I don't know what year. What year were the?
It was a 90s one, so there was a period in between where you could get one with an ebony board and you could get one with a rosewood board. Mine's the standard Les Paul Studio that you can get kind of now. It's just the rosewood board. But
so it was pre all of the. We will not mention the quality issues with.
Yes. Yeah. So it's still. I mean, the headstock's come clean off and had a repair. There's no finish on the back of the guitar. It's all chipped.
But that's probably that you've put in.
I mean, that's like, that's like, you know, like teenager wear, like just smacking it about.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And what's your thought on relicing? Because I'm not a big fan of that. I think relic it by using it, you know.
I mean, I'm just a insanely big guitar fan. I'm a big fan of relicing. Yeah, really? I have to say, Fender Custom Shop guitars, relicing are like for me.
I know it's a real chalk and cheese thing. It's a Marmite thing. People either seem to come down on the side that you've got where you love it and it's really nice because it gives it that authentic feel and worn in and it's playing a vintage guitar. And there's others. I mean, I wouldn't mind playing a vintage guitar. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I'd love to play a vintage guitar.
It's the price point, isn't it?
It makes it prohibitive. And I kind of feel, and this is just for me, you know, don't take this the wrong way at all, but I find that with the relic stuff, it's like a little bit like the Chinese copies. People buy the Gibsons because they can't afford a Gibson, and people relic modern guitars to make them feel and look like they're like old vintage, and worn in. But from a player's perspective, I also get the point that it is worn down, that it is played in. You've taken the finish off the back of the neck. It feels good. They don't actually wear the frets. I've never seen them wear the frets on a relic job. But yeah, he's certainly got that. That's what I like about this. That's why I bought this.
It's got the satin finish.
Love it. And I normally either put a bit of sandpaper up the back.
That's what I did with my Les Paul.
Makes it so easy, doesn't it? Really nice. But no, absolutely. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I don't judge relicing.
It's the same as my dad. My dad's like, why would you do that?
Yeah, why would you spoil it? I mean, like the finish and it just looks beautiful. I don't mind when I've dropped it a few times, and I drop every guitar because I've got dropsy. I was building a guitar, and it's been a series that's lasted about 4 of the 5 years I've been going. Because every time I get around to being ready to spray the Strat that I'm building, I drop the damn thing, and I put another dink in it. Then I got to fill it and rub it down again. So that's properly reliced.
Yeah, that's actually relics.
Actual proper relicing. Yeah, but I get where you're coming from. So after you've gone through the Les Paul Standard and the Studio, you straight into Kiesel then, or have you got other?
No, we're talking. Okay, so we're talking like Gibson Flying V's. I had a Fender Highway 1 Strat, which I wish I never got rid of as well. Nice. I've had a Fender American Standard Strat, an Olympic White one. I've had an American Tele, which I've got rid of. I had a Custom Shop Bengal finished Jackson Soloist. Then we started moving into things like I've got a 92 Jackson reverse headstock Soloist DKMX. Should I say? Yeah, it just keeps going. I think I can't remember all of them.
Exactly the same path as I went down to a degree. I got started off. My uncle gave me an old Vox. It was like an ES335 copy. Funny, I should start on a copy. And then my folks, again, similarly to you, when I was 14, which is back in the Ice Age, they realised that I was really serious because I was playing this guitar sort of 8 hours in the weekends days, and it was like, I've got to get this guitar. So they bought me an Aria Pro 2 RS Wildcat. And it was like humbucker single, I think. Yeah, I've still got it.
Cool.
Yeah. I've never got rid of. I think I've got rid of about 3 guitars. The Studio, one that I built with a mahogany body that was built out of a bar from a pub, and a Westone Pantera graphite neck.
I kind of wish I kept all of them.
Yeah, I wish I had that guitar. I called it Bastard.
Because
it was built out of so many different parts. It had Damasio PAF Pro in it, which was lovely. But then I went through the Strat stage. And I had an American Strat, and I kind of dabbled for a bit with Les Paul, but freaky, there's ghosts in here. The ghost of the Les Paul that I should never get rid of.
You would never say its name.
Do not mention me. And then I went through the Jackson stage. Loved. I've got a Charvel. Again, because I've never got rid of them, still got the black Charvel humbucker single. on the slant with a reverse headstock. That was a Model 3DR.
You have that here? You have that?
Yeah, I have that here.
Oh, can I see that later?
Of course you can.
I really need to see
Absolutely.
that guitar, yeah.
And I've got a Jackson Dinky Soloist from back in the 90s when they were still, I think this built in America, I'm pretty sure, or it might be Japan, not absolutely certain, but just a like see-through red, real nice Jackson.
They sound great.
And we've had all the same sort of stuff, but you haven't gone PRS yet.
No, not my thing.
Not your thing.
The only one I'd ever think about buying is a Silver Sky.
Really?
I'm a just big old John Mayer bitch boy.
Yeah. Who isn't?
I know, right?
I mean, the magic fingers. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just emotion and inspiration pouring out of everything that guy does.
Yeah.
Great. And I'm really pleased to have played the Silver Sky at GitCon. So it doesn't feel, as a PRS lover, and I'm a self-confessed PRS lover, mainly because of the 25-inch scale. Although, here's a laugh for you. I did a review of the Torero that I bought years and years ago the other day, and it was only when I was researching that I found out it was a Fender 25.5 inch.
Yeah.
I thought it was 25 inches all this time, and then this one, of course, is absolutely... and I like that halfway in between.
Sure.
Love the Fender scale, but again, everybody says, you know, it can be quite tight for really good bending, and then you've got the Les Paul, and with the humbuckers, you need a set of at least 10s on it to get it sounding nice and thick.
Yeah.
This kind of sits right in the middle, not promoting any brand of guitar, just my personal preference, and bought and paid for. But yeah, up until you went sort of Kiesel and I went PRS, we were pretty much the same sort of guitars.
Yeah.
Only difference is that your playing improved dramatically, so I should have gone Kiesel, shouldn't I? I should have definitely done that. Whereas I'm still stuck in the 80s.
Oh, it's cool. It's all cool.
Before you were born.
Yes, before I was born.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
How old am
I?
No. Old enough to be your father now.
Yeah.
This guitar I'm going to buy you, son, is going to be a Gibson Les Paul standard. Is that okay? Yeah, Dad, if you like.
Yeah, that's fine, Dad. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So, talking of that, you know, that's the evolution of where you've got from and to, and you've had some incredible guitars there.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be a great deal of scope for innovation going forward. What more can guitar players do? I mean, you've had the Kiesel without the headstock, you know, that Steinbergery type thing, and there's big developments in pickups. I'm working with a guy at the moment called Alex Green, who's a lovely, lovely guy, and he's working on these Chameleon pickups. He's coming in to install a set in one of the Milton guitars. But where do you feel we can go with it? And do we need to? You know, there's a whole question that was sort of doing the rounds on YouTube last year, is the electric guitar dead?
Yeah, I
and
remember.
clearly, no, it's not.
Yeah.
But what can we do? What innovation can inspire the next generation? Because I mean, you're a lot closer to that generation than I am.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, with my mentality though, I'm reversing.
Relic, I want an old guitar.
Yeah, I'm all my favourite guitar players and all my listening and all that sort of stuff is going the other way. So when it comes to me, once again, Billy Gibbons said, if you can play it on a Telecaster, you can play it on anything. Yeah. And to me, two pieces of wood bolted together with a couple of single coils in it is about as much mojo as you can get.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm with a company, I endorse a company called SMP Guitars.
Yeah.
And the only reason it's not with me is because it's like a jazz master style with humbuckers, no split coils and all that sort of stuff. And for the gig that I do, I need the Telecaster. And I'm going there straight after this, so that's why I needed the Telly. And for the gig that I do, it needs a Telly because it's like a funk, blues, jazz vibe sort of going on.
Right.
And Stu from SMP, who lives close to Andertons in Guildford Way, Surrey Way sort of thing. Not only is he like the nicest dude I've ever met, he understands that I have like a very skittish approach to everything. I'm like, sort of thing. So when someone comes up to you and goes, I want to work with you and I want to build you some guitars, and what do you want sort of situation, it took me a long time changing my mind to even come up with the first build, which is through neck, mahogany body, Honduras mahogany body, the most outrageous quilt top you've ever seen in your life.
Wow.
Wenge and neck, and I'll show you a picture. It's unreal. And I got the EMG 5788s in it, and it's just an absolute beast. It's like unreal. And then I got this, I went to this rehearsal for this thing, and it was the only guitar I had that could remotely get like a clean tone that was at my house.
Right.
And of course I'm going to take the SMP because it's the company that I love and do and all that sort of stuff. And I went and I got the gig, but it was like, I just went down like an absolute lead ship. I was just like, oh, this tone is so wrong and all that sort of stuff. So
hence the telly.
Exactly, hence me getting hold of the telly in preparation for Stu to release a new range of guitars that he's going to be building. All of his stuff is custom shot, nothing machine made or production made whatsoever. And right now he's building me a shell pink Telecaster. So it's going to be unreal. So I finally have the modern guitar from him and the classic guitar from him, so that I can go both avenues.
Absolutely, gives you all the versatility.
Yeah, and I'm getting a headless model from him as well, so that I can travel. Right. Because I'm not taking the Jazzmaster model is such a piece of art that the only place it's ever going to go is like England. It's never going anywhere. My bedroom, it's never going anywhere. People can, if anybody wants to see it, you can just come to my house. It's not going anywhere. No, it will literally go like, it will never go on a plane, basically. I'm too terrified. I've seen them mess around with that stuff on planes, and I'm not having it. This is set super low, so I just like that to be able to switch on a dime to playing like to like whatever you want to do. So that's where the low action comes in handy.
Do you ever play that fast on the telly?
I can, because I've got because of the way it's set up and the pedals that I have, I can, you know, push it in that direction, so I can get there. Yeah.
Nice, a lovely pedal board as well. I'll tell you what, why not? Let's talk us through what you've got on your pedal board.
So there's thanks to the notoriety on YouTube and working with so many cool different companies, I've got, you know, pick of the litter really in terms of what we have at the studio, at the Guitar Bros studio. So the signal chain is really, really easy. It goes from the guitar into the TU3.
Tuner.
Exactly. Built like an absolute unit.
Live forever.
Exactly. Then it goes into my Cornerstone Antique Classic Drive, which is literally, once again, my favorite guitar player. There's like, I say this, there's like a selection of 5 guitar players that I obsess over, and one of those guitar players is Ariel Posen, from the Brothers Landreth, and his own thing now. And I tried that on his pedal board, and it literally is going from this sort of thing
lovely boost.
So when you're playing, especially on a telly or a Strat, put that in.
Let's just run out the
I heard it.
That makes a solid state amp sound like it's got sag.
That's the thing.
What the hell's that
that's especially when you. Nice. Yeah, I really love that. Everything's set to 12 apart from the presence, just because it being a solid state, it's a bit bright. So just rolling off the presence a bit. Next in the chain is the Thorpe Effects Gunshot. Adrian Thorpe, we all know who Thorpe is. He's built the Dane for Pete recently.
That's a pretty pedal as well, isn't it?
It looks cool.
Man.
They've got them. He's managed to build them a bit smaller now, so that's even cooler. But yeah, it's basically my sort of chunky
go-to.
Yeah, so this is the so that's my the gunshot. That's my if this isn't enough. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. But never together.
Never together.
They're not blended.
Not those two. Not for me anyway. I mean it's fine. Just a bit too much for me.
Well, actually, for me,
it sounded great. Yeah.
Just put the hairs up on the back of my neck. That did.
Sure. But it's a bit too much for me, hence why my favourite pedal company in the world, Emerson Pedals. Literally, the pedals are great, but he is just the coolest dude at Emerson.
Yeah.
I absolutely love him. From Oklahoma, the boxes have this sick graphic of like Oklahoma and stuff, and the whole vibe is just, yes. I got some limited edition sparkle finishes on all the pedals that he sent me. On its own, it's just set relative, it's a loud pedal.
Right.
So from, it does that basically. It's like just a boost, yeah. But with the gunshot, so this is the gunshot on its own. Then the Paramount. That is like perfection. That is like, for me, it's just like, I only need those two.
Nice.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it's fine.
So you take that tone wherever you go. I mean, you're playing for a Marshall solid state
and it sounds amazing.
Watt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then next in the chain is Ryra, Rock Your Repaired Amp, another company that I absolutely love. This is the Fuzz-O-Matic. Set the fuzz on full, volume is pointed at 12 depending on how it reacts to the amp.
Yeah.
But this is like a glitchy fuzz.
Sounds a bit square wave at the front end.
Yes.
Really nice.
And it's a super low output fuzz because when you have it on set to 12, but I have the fuzz on full, like Hendrix. And you get that, and I love that because it's, when you back off the volume, the fuzz comes through a little bit.
Perfect.
And then
reacts a lot like a valve amp.
Yeah. And then with me, wherever I go, is the clone. So not the clon.
We hasten to add.
It's a clone copy. Once again, by the guys at Ryra. And then I'll change it out for the Cornerstone as and when.
Depending on the gig to suit what you're doing.
Because it all depends. There's been so many sessions where I've gone to the gig, gone to the session if it's a recording session and stuff, and they're like, can you get like a low gain thing? I'm like, Cornerstone, of course. Can you get the Marshall thing? Yeah, of course, and all that sort of stuff. Whereas if you just turn up with, I don't know, your favourite drive, and they're like, does it go any more or does it go any less? And you can't do it. And then other than that, straight in the front end, which I usually run in the effects loop, is on its own is the
Reverb
Boss RV6.
Right.
And that's only because one of my top 5, Joe Bonamassa, and he's always used an RV6 in the effects loop, and that's my reasoning behind that. If it's good enough for Bonamassa, then it's definitely good enough for me.
For anybody. Yeah, for sure.
And that's just all being powered off of the Tentacles by Nemesis, which is a Humphrey regulated power supply. I always say the joke, which is the Tentacles is my favourite anime. So it's
This just proves you can take your sound and you can play it that's not, you know,
yeah.
this is kind of my Top Gear reasonably priced car
type
thing.
And it sounds great.
It does sound the business.
Yeah,
love your Guitar Brothers buttons, by the way.
Yeah, that's a little, that's once again is a little tip to Barefoot Buttons. Make sure to check those out. I've dropped a picture. That's basically the my session thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, the only thing that I have, which is in the car, is the Line 6 HX effects. Because
Helix?
Yeah, just in case. It's just the effects of it, of the Helix. Just in case they're like Leslie, modulation, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. All that.
So I'll just have that put to one side of the board, plugged in the chain, and then they're like, oh, just can you emulate a Leslie? And then I can be like, yeah, of course. So
yeah. Absolutely. Amazing. Really, really nice. And you love your reverb as well. We all love our reverb.
Absolute junkie. Yeah, reverb junkie.
It's forgiving, isn't it?
It is, and as well.
Or not, because if you can't catch it wrong.
Keeps going.
Yeah. Well,
and it's, to be fair, it's just the... makes everything sound just better to me.
Sounded a little bit Vai-ish, actually.
Yeah,
Very nice chord there, and that must have been amazing playing with him.
That was very, very. I'll tell you how it went just quickly because it's a really cool little story as well.
I'm guessing it's probably one of your top stories.
Yeah, I mean, top favourite moments.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, so. I mean, I'm not even a Vai fan. As in, I've never listened to Vai, Satriani, any of that sort of stuff. Because obviously coming up in the listening of grunge and all that sort of stuff, it's a complete
different.
Yeah. Like the grunge was the reason why they had a moment of struggle. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it was never a thing. But as a guitar player, obviously, I can completely 100% take things from him and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But anyway, we were doing a Captain Meets with Lee, obviously. Me and Pete were behind the cameras filming and stuff. Nicest guy, Vai. He's not one of those guys that you can't approach. He is a lovely, lovely man. Came in, shook my hand, chats to you about every normal thing, nothing weird or anything like that. Yeah. So the guy is doing the interview and everything, finishes, and we do an Andertons clinic in the evening. And I turned up at the clinic just to see it, and I stayed over at the house and all that sort of stuff. And at all of these clinics that he was doing around the country, Vai was having these jam sections at the end. And I didn't even know he was doing the jam section. And I found out, 5 minutes before the end of the clinic was over that I was doing it, because Lee comes over and he goes, oh, by the way, you're going to play with Steve Vai at the end? And I was like, so I just got up and he said, I was terrified because I was thinking to myself, I was trying to watch a couple of the people that came up to jam before me, and I was like, what key is he playing in? And I got up there and he put his hand on my shoulder and he was like, okay, it's in the key of G minor. Just have fun. And I was like, yeah, sure, just have fun. Oh, bless him. So I played, and then I got to hug Steve Vai and came off shaking, and
great experience.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Joss, can I say what an absolute joy it's been?
Yeah,
and sincerely, we've gone through 2 cards, and we've just forgotten that we're in front of a camera here today, and that is a real joy, and I've really enjoyed this. I really hope that you'll come back and join me again on the channel, because I've absolutely loved it.
Yeah, awesome, man.
Really, really appreciate it. Man. Cheers, my friend.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Cool.
That is
what?
Oh, you dropped.
Oh, it's gone under the.
You dropped your pick under the sofa.
It's the little knob. Oh no! The little things come off the.
Oh shit!
Oh, it's all right. It's only the switch tip. We'll get it in a bit.
Yeah, we'll get it in a minute. Oh no, I'll get it now. It's cool. It's not often that you're on your knees being asked.
Oh right, yeah.
To find what's
That's it. Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much,
your
sir.
knob.
Thank you, beautiful. Oh, who knew it was that small? I've dropped my pick again.
Oh!
This always happens. There you go.
Well, pick or your knob, you're always dropping one
Exactly,
or the other.
one or the other. Yeah.
I see you lost your knob
Nearly.
again.
I switched and took it off again. I was like, please, no.